And here we go again. Playing our favorite game. Currently, our favorite game. I think it's going to take me a while to get all the controls of Crimson Desert figured out. They say it takes about 8 hours before it finally clicks and you get it. So the first 8 hours is probably going to be pretty frustrating, but it'll probably get better after that. Looks like a lot of content, though. And it looks right up my alley. Fantasy, some steampunky parts, a lot of sword and sorcery stuff going on. Should be good. Can double and triple jump. You got power attacks, special moves, fantasy type combat. I do like all the wrestling moves and suplex and arm bars and throwing people off cliffs, and that all appeals to me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It is currently pre-ordered, and on the 17th at 3 p.m. I can start downloading it, but I can't play it until the 19th at 3 p.m. So I can have it all pre-downloaded and installed, basically. 3 p.m. 19th, I can fire it up. Check it out. I also saw that Tainted Grail got a bunch of updates, and they changed some things around, so it might be worth revisiting that game again. All right, looks like we are in Markarth. What are we doing in Markarth? I have no idea. Oh, we changed our preset back to Immerse Pro RTGI from Marty Mods. So we're running that RTGI right now, which is actually really nice. Does add a little bit more reflected color, though. Got to pet the dog. Got to give him a treat. That's the best way to start off the game, is petting the dog, giving him a treat. Little cooked meat. Give him a rabbit. Good boy, Vigilance. Now, where was I I can return to Froki. I think I've done everything I need to do there. We've got Forgotten Ruins. Rebel's Cairn. We have someone to kill up there. Why don't we head over this way? Because I think we have the sword in our inventory. Red Eagle's sword. Yes, we do. So we're going this way. What time is it? It's nighttime. Well, it's 6:11. It's going to be nighttime. Means we should probably go set up a tent, spend the night. We are carrying a few things that we don't need, so why don't we go in here? We'll drop some stuff off and we'll just take a nap in here. Should put our earrings back on. That might be worth wearing. That's mending. That's health regeneration. This does health, magic, and stamina increased by 30 points. Meh. Yeah, we're missing our earrings. Gotta put my earrings back on. There we go. This is a special edition. Actually, it's anniversary edition that was downgraded to special edition. So it's 1.5.97 is the game version number that I'm running, although I'm running a lot of the anniversary edition content. So all of the Creation Club content that comes with Anniversary Edition. This is my mod list. It's available on Wabbajack. And it's called the Nico Experience. And it's been available for about 2 years now. But it just keeps getting refined and keeps getting better. So, and this is my current character. She's... If you look right above her head, up at the top, it says 123.25. That's 123 hours and 25 minutes that we are into this playthrough, and she's level 59. You can see her level is up there too. So yeah, we're almost level 60, and we've been playing. We keep aiming for like a 300-hour game. Closest I've ever gotten is about 270 hours. And that's completing pretty much all of the faction quests, the main quests, the 2 main DLCs, and a lot of the added content that I put in the list, like Ulanvald and Midwood Isle, Chanterelle, Forgotten... What's the name of that? Oh, Moonpath to Elsewhere. Beyond Reach. There's a lot of added content. All right, so I'm looking for anything that's a bone. No, and then I think I'm done with these 2 dragon claws that I'm carrying around. If you have any other questions about the mod list or anything, feel free to ask. You're talking to the guy who created it. So if anybody knows, it's me. And plus I stream it all the time. I play it all the time. Like I play this mod list almost daily. Except if I have other things going on, which is pretty rare. I'm retired, so I have spare time to play, which is nice. I like it. I like it a lot. How are we doing on food? Can make some apple wine. Never played SE or AE, only LE. Mods, but never too much. Try not to add too much. Will you abandon Skyrim after Crimson Desert releases? I doubt it. Skyrim really, Elder Scrolls in itself, I'll give you a little bit of background. Okay, in 2004, I broke my ankle really bad, like 6 screws and a metal plate to put me back together, right? So I was laid up, and I hadn't played video games in quite a long time because I was too busy working and raising a family. And my buddy bought me Morrowind. This is 2004, mind you, okay? And I had a laptop. It was an old Gateway laptop with integrated graphics. And it took me probably about a week before I finally got bored enough to load it up and take a look at it. But then I got hooked. I had never seen a video game like that before. You got to remember, I'm almost 60 years old. So I come from the generation where we were playing Pac-Man and Galaga and Centipede and Asteroids and Defender and pinball machines and pachinko machines and things like that. That's what I remember, growing up. So the only consoles I ever had, oh my gosh, what did I have? The last console that I had was a Sega Genesis. That was the last console that I had owned before I started playing Morrowind. And I'd never seen a game like Morrowind, and I got sucked in. And then I just kind of become an Elder Scrolls kind of fan after that. I bought Oblivion on the day of its release, and then I had trouble getting it to run on my computer. So I went to the official forums, and I met somebody there who wanted to make mods. And so I decided, well, I like to build things anyway. I worked construction. So that's what makes me tick, is building things. And he wanted to make a big mod for Oblivion. And he kind of talked me into it. And so I learned how to 3D model. And I started making bows because nobody was making bows. And so I made a lot of bows for Oblivion because I enjoyed it. And he lost interest and he kind of disappeared. So he was the guy who was doing all of my texturing. So then I had to learn how to texture. And around 130 mods, and you're happy with that? Okay. 58 and played Morrowind. It really gripped me too. Yeah, Morrowind had the story, and it had, oh my God, all the little Easter eggs everywhere. Everything was hand placed. They really took time to build that world. And it was very different than any game that I had played before. You're from the same era that I'm from, so you know. And then it just continued on with Skyrim. I ended up porting all of my mods that I made for Oblivion over to Skyrim. And then I started making new mods for Skyrim, like the arrows that are on my back, the daggers that are on my back. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. So these daggers are Aragorn's daggers. And I made those. And then I did a mod called Bowgasm. I remade every bow in the game for Skyrim. And then I did one called I Want Better Arrows. That's where the arrows on my back are from. Those are the ebony arrows. But if you look at, what other kind of arrows am I carrying? These, Nordic. I did these too. But I just wanted some better looking arrows. That's actually an owl feather for the fletching. Yeah, I had fun modding, so I kept modding. And then I created a list that I was playing, and I got tired of every time that I did something stupid and crashed my list that I had to rebuild it all from scratch. So then comes Halgari with Wabbajack, and I'm like, oh, this is a great way to make a backup. Now I can have a backup of my entire mod list, and if I do something stupid or my computer takes a dump or whatever, I can get my mod list back. And that's why I made a Wabbajack. But then I decided to throw it up on the CDN and share it with everybody else. So this is a mod list that is roughly about 2,250 mods. It runs extremely stable. Because like I said, I've been playing it for years and fixing every little problem that I see. There's also some really cool mods that have come out that help you fix things. Like, let's say you don't like where that nest is that's right in front of me, right? So we've got a mod that we can pick that nest, we can enter patch mode, we can come out of here, and then we can move it wherever we want. Okay, so let's say we're gonna put it we'll put it up on this rock, and then if we go this way, we can spin it, and if we go this way, we can go up and down. So we could actually set it up on top of the rock if we wanted to. Let's go down a little bit like that. And then we say M1 to accept. And then we can 3 to save position, or we can do number 4 to reset the position. So we'll reset the position. Let's go back to moving it. And let's put it in an area where it looks good. We'll say accept. And then we'll save the position. Darn Thalmor.
Oh, really? You think you're all that, huh? You feel compelled to die?
Oh, you're going down. Hey, dude.
If you know any true sons and daughters of Skyrim, tell them to head to Windhelm. Ulfric Stormcloak wants to see them.
All right, cool. Anyhow, now we're back to this. So we want to save the position, and then we want to come back in here and we want to turn off patch mode. So what that does is it actually creates a, what's up, RM? Crimson Desert coming out today? No. Crimson Desert comes out on the 19th to be played. I can start downloading it on the 17th. Like this bow that I'm using, it's a bow that I made. Okay, now that looks really weird. How come I have... No, I don't want to do that. Put the knife away. Okay, cool. That looks better. That's a really long shot. Hey, we got him. That was a golden eagle. Oh no, that's a black eagle. Cool. So in any case, yeah, Skyrim holds a special place in my heart, and I love my mod list, so I don't think that Crimson Desert will be a replacement for it, but I think it'll be a fun diversion, something fun to get into. Who knows? You know, maybe I'll get stuck on that for a couple of years. But Skyrim will always be here. There's some battle going on up there in front of me. I don't know if it's going to let me sleep. We're not in combat yet. Try to keep your Skyrim as vanilla as possible. I changed the weather, grass, static meshes, body models. Okay. Well, I mean, the very best mod list is the one you make yourself. That's what I can tell you. So my mod list may not be for everybody, but if people are interested, it's available. So, and that's the best I can do is put it out there and say, here it is. If you want to play it, feel free. If you have questions about it, feel free to ask those too. I changed... Oh, what did I change? I changed the weather, I changed the trees, I changed the rock textures, I changed... I added campfire. Campfire is a great mod, by the way, which has survival stuff. I've got Sunhelm for survival. I've got Winter Sun for religion. I've got static skill leveling, so we changed how leveling up works. You can't grind, making 1,000 daggers to move your smithing up, okay? You actually have to, well, you can choose wherever you want to put the points, but finding new locations is what's going to help you gain points towards going up a level. Also, killing enemies is also going to help you gain points to go up a level.
Dead on. You have every reason to believe.
And then I added things like slide tackle. I just slide tackled her. And then we have different dodges, and I added MCO combat. And then there's other... This is called stances, so I can change... My character speaks. That's called Dragonborn voiceover, but it also works in conjunction with another mod called PC head tracking. So she can say...
The only person that can make me truly happy, sad or angry, is myself.
Is me, yeah. So those files, the one that just played, it's actually something that I say all the time. But I've got somebody who was watching my streams who has he's got 11 labs, which is for making voice files. So he made the voice files using Ciri's voice from The Witcher for a lot of the sayings that I say all the time.
Any day above ground is a blessing. Thanks be to the divines. My destiny is filled with brave, well, semi-brave, heroic acts. It's also filled with dragons, danger, and people desperately trying to eviscerate me.
I also added, you see the things down at the bottom of the screen? That's called spell hotbar. The additions for it, I mean, the Ciri one done by Last Challenger is the one that I'm using. And that's Last Challenger's a friend of mine. Stops by, and like I said, used a lot of things that I say.
I really did want to study music in solitude, but when I tried going to the college,
the door was barred.
They had a barred door.
Oh, they had a barred door. Bad dad jokes. The other one is Dragonborn voiceover, and to get the Ciri files for Dragonborn voiceover, or Yennefer, or Triss, or Dagathor, if you like a male character, or Geralt, or anyhow, a lot of different Master Chief from Halo. Those are all available on Fear TCB's Discord. So you would have to get an invite to Fear TCB's Discord, and then you can go and download those files. Because a lot of those are, they don't like having them on Nexus, but they can be shared privately. So those aren't part of the mod list because I can't share them publicly. But I can tell you where to get them. The person who did all that also has 11 Labs software, and they go by Fear TCB. And you want to look up their Discord and get an invite. So between those two, you can do all of the random things.
Don't you forget about me.
You know, hello, goodbye.
And the air was just right for Skyrim.
And the air was just right for Skyrim. The whole "may you poop on warm sands" comes from a friend of mine, Elf. So I can't take credit for that one, but that became one of the things that
Come get some.
we can do. And then I also added things like animated traversal. So you can climb up on top of things.
You won't leave here alive.
And then bow rapid combo, which allows you to use an offhand dagger when you've got a bow out. Also gives you things like jump, kick, and shot. If you're a bloodmouth voice, she only says things during combat. Yeah. You'd have to find the Dragonborn voiceover to go with it. Because then it's all the dialogue when you're talking to NPCs. But yeah, I've changed a lot. Another one that I really recommend is Natural Waterfalls, which is extremely well done. And this is Rally's foam. So those two together are really nice. The trees here are from Nature of the Wildlands version 2. The grass is from Folkvanger with stuff. This is from Cathedral. The muddy ground texture here. This is really blended roads with Fusher's muddy ground texture, which is freaking phenomenal, especially when you do like complex material and parallax. So this is complex material and parallaxed, and it just, man, it pops. Just looks really good. Yeah, we'll use really blended roads, and then get the parallax add-on for it. You start running like parallax gen. We've got a wild gargoyle up here. Should we go with the pig? We'll go with the pig pokers. I don't know where this wild gargoyle is. He's over there. This here is a place called Divine Elegance. It's a store that has a lot of clothing. And this is my old Herolden, which is and I redid the rock walls. I like this texture, this style rock wall with the larger rocks and the moss. And then this is a mod called Destinations, which adds carriage stops at secondary places. Like I said, this is Old Herolden, but this is a modified Old Herolden. But you can go to the carriage stop and catch a ride to places. Just more ways to fast travel. Dined a lot in EMB for things like bloom, God rays, depth of field. Cool. Well, I'm running Rudy's. This is Rudy's EMB that I modified. And so it's a modified Rudy's EMB, but I'm running reshade on top of it with RTGI, which is Ray Trace Global Illumination from Marty McFly. So that adds quite a bit. We have a dragon over here somewhere. I heard him talking. Oh, that's Alduin. He's going to go bring a dragon back up. So I also made my grass like 1.2, so all my grass is taller, which makes it look more dense. And of course I use Dindalod. Dindalod is probably one of my favorite utilities of all time. Come on, bring him out. Where'd you go, Alduin? I don't know where he went. Yeah, Rudy's is probably my favorite. It's just there's a lot you can do with it. And this is a revamped Rorikstead from Great Cities, Minor Cities and Towns. This big tree here is from
I'm staying out of this.
CG4. Same thing with the big tree that's off over to my right. That's a king's tree there, which is from, I believe that's from Wine Dave's trees add-on. So I've got a bunch of different tree mods. And then of course I've got cats, and I can pet the cats. Got to be able to pet the cats, pet the dogs. I can give the dogs treats. And pet the dog. Good boy. Yeah, you can run Parallax and Dindalod together. Oh, my friend Fat wanted me to plant him a garden, so I planted him a garden over here. This is known as Fat's Garden. So I planted him a garden. I made a mod and added these from Cannabis Skyrim, so Fat could have a garden here in Rorikstead. So now we know why. Oh, I also have horse poop. It makes a good poison, so it's worth picking up. So damage health, ravage stamina. But yeah, horse muck. And actually, if you really want to see, we're going to change the weather. Let's take a little flight, shall we? And we'll go check out Dindalod. Okay, there's Alduin. There's, I think that's Broken Tower Redoubt. Up on the hill. And that's Rorikstead down there. You can actually almost see Solitude. Solitude's like right above my head. That's Solitude out there. see if I can clear up the weather a little bit so we can see it better. We are using a pretty heavy fog. Let me lighten up the fog a little bit. So there's a mod, Mists. Mists of Tamriel. So
Making a fool of yourself.
that wasn't very nice.
That's assault. Ready to liberate some more.
Where are you at here? There you are. Here, eat that.
That your best, huh? Lucky hit.
Here, eat another one. But I've got the high ground, Anakin. Give me your soul. JK Skyrim to make changes to towns and cities. JK Skyrim is pretty heavy for exterior. I use a lot of JK's interiors, but JK's exteriors are very, very heavy on the frame rate. I ended up using Dawn of Skyrim, and yes, I did. Now I'm going to bury his corpse. Don't want dragon bones in your cabbages.
Dead then?
Yeah, it's dead.
Ruin my years. I've never seen such a thing.
Just like the ancient legends. Dragon lore.
Keeps getting foggy. So we're trying to clear it up so we could get a better look. Let's get a better look. Okay, now you can see Solitude from over here. There's a couple of deity trees. White runs over that way. There's the throat of the world. You can actually see High Hrothgar is right about where my right elbow is. That's High Hrothgar right on the hill there. But that's all Dindalod doing all that. Squirrel! That's Rorikstead. Solitude. Morthal. Let's turn the mists back on. We got to return to Enther too. Mists of Tamriel is a really good mod. So if we turn on, let's go subtle or medium, and let's go subtle. We've got the Morthal and the Falkreath fogs, so we'll go with that. We'll drop back down in. Oh, the gambling pit. So we have Skyrim Underground also. So you can travel underground. If I go down to this gambling pit here, you can travel underground. It's my best advice for dealing with grass draw distance. Dindalod version or setting number 1, which will make it here. All right. We'll find the edge of my draw distance. There it is. So here you can see the line of the edge of my draw distance between full model and LOD. So you can see that the ground is pretty murky and that the grass is just like little X's, but very low polygon, right? And also very low resolution. So that would be on setting 1. But you can see how far it renders the full model. It renders the full model for quite a ways. Because we were over here somewhere, weren't we? I think we were. We're over here somewhere. Yeah. So even if you get out here, and this is why running Mists of Tamriel is so cool, because you see how it's kind of misty under the trees over there? And you can see that like right about where my bow is, just to the right of the bow on my back, if you look off in the distance, that's those are low poly models. Yeah, those are low poly models that are out there, but they don't really look like it because they're dense enough and green enough that the grass appears to go on forever. Another really good way to end, and then running. Oh my gosh!
A foe is all you'll ever be.
We got to deal with these guys. Hold on.
There's no shame in being afraid.
Oh yeah, you think you're all that? Here, eat that.
Oh, please.
Let's get to a spot where we can see grass for quite a ways. Probably it's like somewhere down in here. But it's okay. So running Mists of Tamriel, this is what I would recommend, and run it on subtle. So you see how it gets misty off in the distance? That's going to cover up your LOD and make it blend even better. That little bit of really far off mist. And it's another great thing about Mists of Tamriel is it's better than volumetric mist because it's animated. So if you watch, those mists are blowing around the mountains. They're blowing through the valley. That mist is moving off in the distance, but that's covering up. So you can see there the mist is moving. And that's helping to blend those here, and we'll do it again. So you can see where the mist is, right? I'm already into, that's the line between full model and LOD. But because of the mists, here's my character, right? But because of that mist that's out there, it blends really well. And it's almost not noticeable. Same thing with the trees. You can see the trees. Those trees out there are LOD models too. Okay, let's back up a little bit. Full model, full model, full model, full model, LOD. What's up, Wolfie? But yeah, then even these trees here, they're just, if we look at them from up top, see all these are like X's. Same thing with the trees, right? It's two flat textures. And they're low res. But if you go back to where our character was, she's standing up here on this rock. Those trees don't really look low res because they're off in the fog in the distance. Not available for LE. Well, now here's the other thing, the difference between LE and SE, and the main reason I changed from LE to SE. SE, you're able to use, well, LE, you're limited to 255 mods total. You want any more than that, you're merging mods. Okay? In SE, you've got something called ESPLE, which is a light plugin, or an ESL, Elder Scrolls Light plugin. And the limit to that is 1,024. 1,024 light plugins equal one regular plugin. So you're pretty much unlimited in the amount of mods you can add. You can add as much as you want. And that's how you get a mod list like Lorim that's over 4,000 mods. Or a mod list like mine that's about 2,500 mods. And the other thing is that you don't have the 4 gigabyte RAM limit either. So 32-bit processes, and LE is a 32-bit process, is limited to 4 gigabytes, and that's with the extension. You can get up to 4 gigabytes worth of RAM usage. What I'm running right now is using about 15 gigabytes worth of RAM to store all of this information to make the game look this good, because it's 64-bit instead of 32-bit. That was probably the biggest change from LE to SE, is changing from 32-bit to 64-bit. And this is why it's important. Not only can you have more mods, but you can also use more of your system RAM. So why have a system that's got 16 gigabytes worth of RAM if you only can use 4 for the game? You're limiting yourself. You know? And yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt where you go, oh, well, these things were available for LE, but nothing, they're not available for SE. Well, there are plenty of really good mods available for SE. Also, a lot of the ones for Anniversary Edition, I'm using a mod called Bees, which is backported, which allows me to run mods that were created with Anniversary Edition, and I can run them on 1.5.97. So one of the reasons I stayed on 1.5.97 is this. This is a spell called Blink, where I can blink to other locations. Right, and that was only available with the .NET script framework, and that was only available on 1.5.97. Now, when my mod list was created 2 years ago, there wasn't any other way to get it. Now you can get it through SKSE. So you don't even need 1.5.97. If I was building a brand new mod list right now, I would probably build it on 1.61170, which is the latest version of the game and its Anniversary Edition, because everything that I want, I can now get. Hey, there's Maik. I can now get through SKSE.
Maik loves the people of Skyrim. Many interesting things they say to each other.
Can we change his outfit? That's how we gave him that outfit. Should we put him in... Let's put him in cloth armor. Or cloth. Or should we give him barkeeper clothes? The off-color one.
Swift hunting.
Now he's wearing barkeep clothes.
Maik saw a mud crab the other day. Horrible creatures.
So I've also increased the... You can see the material here looks much more detailed. They have a mod that increases the resolution of all of the vanilla clothes. And man, they look good. It's a mod for LE called Crash Fixes that converts your RAM to blocks that you can allocate to either rendering or handling the scripts depending on your PC setup. Okay. I've been away from LE for so long. Once I finally switched over to SE, I never look back. There wasn't any reason to look back. Should we put him in Ashlander seer robes? Oh, he looks good in that.
Until next time.
Okay, we're leaving you in that one. I like the hat. You stole it from an Ashlander. Also, I use a mod called
Nice and easy.
3D Rocks. And these are all parallax, too. On a winner with being able to add over 1,000 mods. Certainly can't do that with LE. Well, you can, but you have to... you have to merge them. Plus, I'm running hair physics, cloth physics. And right now we're running 131 frames a second. Even running RTGI. If I turned off RTGI, I'm running 189, 191 frames a second. But if I turn on Ray Trace Global Illumination, the main thing you'll notice is the difference in the shadows on the grass. That's the main thing you'll notice. It drops me down to about 128 frames a second, which is still screaming. Moppy, Rybash, yeah. No mod manager. I really like Mod Organizer too. So that's what this is built on. And then I like this is Water for EMB, which is phenomenal. And then these are parallax textures for the mossy rocks. Oh!
We doing this or what?
Yeah, I'm looking down at the rocks and I get attacked. Rybash was something that I started using when I ran FCOM for Oblivion, and it was needed for that. Yeah, I went through and I changed a lot of the textures, and then pretty much grabbed everything that I could that was parallaxed or complex material.
Time to shine.
Even like the underwater looks really good. And then these are the deity trees of RK. And they are enormous. All right, I forgot where I was going. Where was I going? What was I doing? I was looking for that. I went completely the other way.
I'm warning you. Got something to prove?
Yeah, the grass is Folkvanger with summer tundra retexture. And then some of the flowers are here from Verdant.
It's sad that you don't care. Looking for any excuse to fight, huh?
That looks like a griffin.
Think you're all that and a bucket of shrimp?
That is a minotaur.
I highly suggest you reconsider. You scoundrel!
If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you're going to get.
Guess I have no choice but to kill you.
Aren't you the new Archmage of the Cowl? Kill you!
Well, that dude died standing up. Probably knock him down. No.
You ain't the first person I've killed, and you won't be the last. Stop that! It's what you want!
We blocked his arrow when he was shooting at us.
Got you.
Oh, beheading. Sounds of Skyrim, do you use that too? Yes. There's quite a few different sound mods that I use. There's one for acoustic interior spaces. So there's one that makes if you're wearing a full helmet, your speech sounds muffled. Because you're wearing a full helmet, so it's like talking through this. And then also interior spaces will have reverb if you're inside. And then Sounds of Skyrim, there's all kinds of things that you can do there. There's some that I don't really like though. Like I'm not a big fan of the fox sound or the flies. I don't really like the buzzing of the flies, so I turned those off. There's a knife in the crate. I wonder why the crate's there. Maybe the crate's there just so you could jump up on it. So that's animated traversal. We just climbed up to the doorway. This is Ranvig's Fast. Okay. That must be the way out. You like the flies? Turn off the fox sounds too. The other one that gets me is the stupid cuckoo bird. So it's just labeled as birds, but it's a cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. I'm like, okay, that's got to go. So there's a few of them that I turn off, and yeah, the flies are annoying. I keep going, get away from me. But I mean, if you like them, they're there. You can turn them on. We got a dragon up there at Elder's Blood Peak, but we've already cleared that. We're trying to go... I'm trying to go over here. Oh, we got a ways to go. I do love the mountain textures. This is called Majestic Mountains. And it's just really, really well done. The mountain textures are really good. This is where our Per Alchemist is. He died on a rock. Well, we have different giants too. So I've got these that are mythical giants. And then we've got like baby mammoths. And then in addition to those, we have the regular kind of giants. And then we've got female giants. And we've got giant younglings too. So really diverse giants. And yes, that was an autosave, but you see how fast it was? There's a mod to speed up the SKSE saves. It's another mythical giant. There's one of the younglings. Who is this poor person? Male Imperial. I think I pissed him off. Okay, later, dude. Oh, no. All right, everybody drink. One hour and 1 minute in. I do not see a crash log. No crash log. System main DLL. So this was a Windows issue. It wasn't a mod list issue. That was a Windows issue, not a mod list issue. Because yeah, no crash log. If I got a crash log, it would be here. And there's nothing in there. So yeah, this is 2,419 mods. Yeah, well, I just updated the BIOS on my motherboard, and I just updated my driver for graphics. And the reason I did both of those was I've got a very, very mild overclock on my processor, which, because it's a 9950X3D, it requires the latest BIOS. And then for the graphics driver, there's actually a fix for Crimson Desert in the latest graphics driver. I know NVIDIA's been having trouble with graphics drivers recently, but the 595, the latest 595 release has a fix for Crimson Desert. So I wanted to make sure I had that installed. But I'm thinking that might be part of the problem. At least it's not my Skyrim. And there may be, what I had stable on the last BIOS version may not be stable on this one. If I want to stop Windows running stuff in the background, I can give you the name of the free program you'd like. I don't want any other free programs running in the background. I actually have, because the chip that I have, the 9950X3D, is basically two 8-core, 16-thread chips on one die. One of them has the 3D cache, and the other one does not. So I'm using a program called Process Lasso I can actually show you that. Doesn't matter. Anyhow, what I did in Process Lasso and what I did also through the BIOS is that I've got it set up that it will dump all of the processes on the frequency die, and then my games using Process Lasso will only load on the die with the 3D cache. So it's kind of a pain in the butt to set it up, but once you get it set up, it separates all the processes. So any background process that's running, even like OBS that I'm running, or I'm running Firefox with YouTube open in the background, anything like that that's running, is going to be on a different chip. Doesn't run in the background. It stops things from running in the background by changing settings in the Windows. I'd prefer to do it manually, thank you, if I'm going to do it. I know enough about computers and building computers that it's not a daunting process for me to do that. And like I said, I'd rather use Process Lasso anyway. But thank you for the offer. Okay, so it does not like something in that particular area. And again, it's not giving me a crash log. So I think I may have to change some settings in my BIOS, which means I need to reboot, which means I'm going to have to stop this stream. But I will start another stream shortly. So I will see everybody in. No, it's not a crash. There's no crash log. It's not a crash. It's well, it's not a game crash. It's my system crash. So let me modify some settings in the BIOS, and I will be right back. So peace out until I see you again. I'll be right back.